All right, so this is geometry, and we're going to go over the different types of ways of triangles are congruent. Now, certain things that we know about triangles. Triangles have how many sides? Three sides. How many angles do they have? Three. So there's only so many different combinations I could do. So we're going to create this thing that's called a foldable. A foldable, that means that we're going to be able to fold it. Yes. Hey, look at that. So this is what we're going to do. So starting here, we're going to take this side right here. This side right here, and we are going to fold it into the middle. We're going to fold this one into the middle. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Put it down. I will show you where. And I'll show you when, because otherwise you're going to screw it up. So don't screw it up. You have one job, don't screw it up.
They're going to be like flaps, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're going to be windows. All right, so you should have something like this. Now, for this right here, it is lined up. So we're going to watch this. So on my line. So when I do this, I go through and it says, okay, can I prove these triangles congruent? So you go right here. So you only need 3 sets of corresponding parts congruent in order to prove 2 triangles are congruent. Do you have the correct information? Okay, so we're going to cut the windows on these. Huh? All of them. Make sure they line up in the pretty sure they all line up. Yeah. So we're going to cut these for each one. And for some reason, I keep finding scissors left out everywhere, so there's some boxes with no scissors. Yeah, I'm going to toss a pair of scissors at you.
Say no more. Let's go.
Say less. Get up, lazy.
Oh.
Alright, so, and going to go through, cut the rest of this. There should be one box with like 5 or 6 pairs of scissors. So you guys please check all the boxes. Because for some reason no one likes putting stuff away. So they end up just going in the nearest box and it's never really the right box.
Actually, these scissors don't really work.
Oh, those are special scissors so you don't cut yourself.
I know, but you don't need to worry about me about it.
Yes I do. I got you those scissors just on purpose. Yeah, it was an accident that he made sure he got the special scissors that don't cut.
Who's that one kid that still cut themselves with the safety scissors?
That was Jonathan yesterday. Was it yesterday or like
2 days ago.
2 days ago? Yeah. That was pretty amazing. I have never seen anyone cut themselves with safety scissors.
It was on Wednesday because I was here on Wednesday.
I'm proud of
Now
you.
you remember.
Yeah, man, that takes skill right there. That's effort. That's super extra right there.
That's some 13 reasons why.
Oh my god.
That's what?
Some 13 reasons
It's a
why.
Netflix. It's enough. So about this tape about she kills herself.
You
You gotta watch it.
No.
Why?
This is going to end up in our notebook. So this one in our notebook is going to end up at page 67. So let's. So here's page 67.
I have an extra one.
You have an extra one? Okay. So, thank you. All right, so this is what you guys are going to do. So before you go and glue or tape this down, we're going to do a Cornell note for this. So kind of measure it out so you can see where you're going to draw your line. Because otherwise you don't want to cover up your vocabulary we're doing, right?
Wait, what page is it?
67.
Here's, I think this is for you.
So on these notes, we're going to have some special vocabulary to go along with this.
Bless you. Thank you.
6-7. Can you see the screen from back there?
I don't think you
Okay, yeah, that's 67.
I'm self-diagnosed.
Can we have a ruler?
I have a box of rulers there. It's all you.
Okay.
See, Emmanuel? Emmanuel, raise your right hand. It's right there. Thank you. All right, so now, with these notes that we're going to do, so let's start with the vocabulary. So I'm going to start off with the first one, with my word is postulate.
No, I'm just trying to. You want it? No.
So, postulate is a true statement. What's wrong? P-O-S-T. Postulate, yes.
Come on, you need the real.
What if you don't want a straight one? Oh, that's not straight. I don't know the angle.
You want me to zoom? Let's see if I can zoom a little bit more. There we go.
This is what pages is go on?
67.
There you go. All right, so 6-7.
Thank you.
Postulate. P-O-S-T-U-L-A-T-E. U-L-A-T-E. Postulate. You guys want to try the lights out on this one? Yes. Okay, sorry. I had to try, but it was so dark in here. Like everyone had like their phones out using flashlights earlier. Is that better? Okay.
It's not even dark.
So,
Earlier when the.
did someone say that? Who said that?
Matthew.
Oh, okay. Can't see you. All right. Huh?
Oh.
It's so dark I can't see who's actually there because I have like this light. I have a light shining right in my face. And it's like I'm on like a lineup or something, and like a police lineup on the other side of like the glass so you can't see anything. So yeah.
Next on the bottom, what does it say?
True statement. All right. So we're going to talk about a couple of these things. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the side, side, side. So now that's going to be right here. So it's side, side, side postulate. Two pairs congruent sides and there should be a C there. The included angle. Oh wait, no, that's side angle side. Side, side, side. Did I do the wrong one? Here it is. Three pairs of congruent sides. Okay? Three pairs of congruent sides. So the definition for that one, so side, 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 that is a very good one.
Mr. Pancho, check this out. Mr. Pancho,
Children.
Can you move him?
Look.
Yes, Josue.
look at that.
Ooh. Yes. I know. Someone. Yeah. That's how you distribute the light.
Bro, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, anyway. All right, so side, side, side. Now, so that's three sides are congruent. Two, three corresponding. sides of another triangle. Okay, so now I'll give this as an explanation to go along with this right here. So for this one, let me slide this over a little bit, right here. So side, side, side is going to be this one here. So being side, 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 now 3 pairs congruent sides. So now the corresponding means they have to match each other. So this one has to be congruent to this one down here, right? Yes. The 2 has to be corresponding with that, yes. And the 3 with the 3. But what if I went 1, 2, 3, but this one went 2, 2, 3?
It would not be congruent.
It would not be congruent because it's got to be matching. So this side has to be congruent to that side. That's what I mean by corresponding congruent. So this one has to go with that one. If it was 2, 2, 3, these ones would not be, the 2 triangles would not be congruent to each other because they have to have the same sides are congruent to each other. Does that make sense? Okay, so because you're going to see some that actually are like that, and those are not going to be congruent for that reason. But 3 are congruent to 3 over here, but they have to be corresponding for them to work. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the next one. So the next one I'm going to do is side angle side.
Can you slide it over, please?
Oh yeah, I'm getting there. Okay. Next one's side angle side. Okay, side angle side. That is, so we can also write it like this. Write like this. So side angle side. You can do the same thing with side, side, side. It could be just 3 S's. Okay, for now, for this one right here, the angle has to be between the 2 sides. So the angle has to be between the 2 sides. So for it to be like this, side angle side, I write it like that for a reason. Because the angle is between the 2 sides. That means that the angle is touching both of those sides. Side angle side right here. Okay. So 2 pairs of congruent sides and the included angle. So if you notice right here, this angle, which is between our 2 sides. So now, if you notice, they're congruent to corresponding sides over here. So this one has 1, that one has 1, this one has 2, that one has 2, and they're both touching the angle. The angle is between the 2 sides. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It's hard to explain the definition of between without using the word between. Alright, so the next one I'm going to do is going to be, I'm actually not doing all of these for the special thing right here. So, angle, side, angle. So, could write it both ways. I should have put it down here, but I didn't. Sorry. Okay, angle, side, angle. So this one right here, where do you think that the side has to be?
In the middle of the angles.
Between the 2 angles. So the side has to be between
Is Passion
the 2 angles. Okay, so let's take a look. So angle, side, angle. That one's going to be down here. So angle, side angle right here. So for the angle, side angle, I have that it's going to be 2 pairs of congruent angles and the included side for this to be angle, side angle. So if you notice, I have 2 triangles. I have an angle. My side is touching both angles, right? So it's angle, side angle on this one, right? And this one is also angle, side angle. These two are congruent to each other. So that's, for this we're comparing 2 triangles. This one has to be angle, side angle, just like this one has to be angle, side angle, for these 2 triangles to be congruent. So we're using all these to compare 2 different triangles. Yes? Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and, I think that's the last one for this one. Yeah. Alright, so now let's talk about the rest of these. So I've already talked about the side, side, side. So we did the side, side, side already. So we're proving that they're congruent. So we need at least 3 things for every single one of these triangles. So next one is, we did side angle, side. Angle, side angle. Now the next one's going to be a hypotenuse leg. So that means that it has to have a hypotenuse. What type of triangles has a hypotenuse?
Right.
A right, very good. It has to be a right triangle. So we will have 3 things here. So it has to be a right triangle. So they have to be right triangles. So I will have 3 things for every single one of these. So I have the right triangle. So they're both right triangles. So in this right triangle, the side opposite the right angle is called my hypotenuse. So I will have the hypotenuse for both triangles, right? And then I'll have a leg. That means it's one of the sides that is not the hypotenuse. So I have a couple things right here. So if I'm labeling these are sides and this is an angle. Okay? So if I was to list this, kind of like I did these other ones, this one would be side, angle, side, right? This is SAS. What would this one be?
RAS.
Would this be angle, side, side? Yeah. This one is angle, side, side. This one is also angle, side, side. So this is the only time for ASS. Okay? It's the only time for ASS because it is angle, side, side. Now, so because it is hypotenuse leg, it has to be a right triangle for it to be angle, side, side. That's the only way it is. So let's take a look at the next one. The next one over here is angle, angle, side. So if I'm paying attention, if it's angle, angle, side, that means I have 2 angles, right? And then I have a side. So let's see. It says 2 pairs of congruent angles and non-included side. So that means that's 2 angles and a side that is not between them. But if you notice, the side is touching the double angle one, right? With the one with the 2 tick marks. This one is also angle, angle, side. It is touching the double tick mark here, right? If I had it over here on this side instead, would this one be the same? Say no.
No.
It would not be the same because this one would not be the corresponding side. Because it has to be on this one here, and the other triangle would also have to have it in the same spot. It would have to be touching at the same thing. But if it was over here, this would be no. This would mean that they're not congruent. Okay, or not enough information. Okay, so for that one right there, and then here's a side-side angle, or also angle side-side. Now, these ones may not be congruent. They say may not. It's not an absolute, it's just we don't have enough information. So these ones may not, because it is going to be angle side-side, angle side-side. Here's 2 possibilities for this. If you notice, the 2 triangles are different shapes, aren't they? they're different shapes. And so therefore, these ones are not going to be congruent by angle side side. So if you ever have it like this in your ASS, that's not going to be congruent. So you would say not congruent right there. Make sense? Jess?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. Is angle, angles, angle. I'll try to slip a side in there. Angle, angle, angle. So now for these ones, cannot prove triangles congruent. So we're going to deal with this one again later in second semester where it's going to be similar, but it's not going to be the same. So angle, angle, angle are not congruent. We cannot say that they're congruent. Okay? They may be similar, but they're not congruent. Does that make sense? So right here, not congruent. Also for this one right here, I would say not congruent. So whenever I have those, I would go with that. All right, so when we get this in, make sure you fold them down. I crease them a little bit better so they'll stay folded down, so when I open up my notebook, they don't go flying out everywhere and get messed up in your backpack. So a little crease on it right there. So I take my tape. All you have to do is tape the top and bottom, or some people that love gluing stuff for some reason, will glue the whole thing down. So anyway, so just top and bottom. Huh?
Is there something bad about glue?
No, it's just I'm almost out of it. So I need some classroom supplies, and I'm gonna hit up your parents here soon about getting glue and send it out. Be like, hey, I need classroom supplies. Like in elementary school, everyone would bring classroom supplies at the beginning of school. You bring your tissue, all those other things, hand sanitizer.
No one does it.
You know what? I tried, but still I can't. It's kind of sad. Everyone's all, I'll do it if you give me extra credit. Oh. So you think you should pass this class because you brought in, tissues, not because you know the math? So you get credit for a math class because you brought in tissues. That doesn't sound fair, right? Okay, anyway. All right, so let's take a look at the next page. So next page is going to be 66. I'm going to flip that over. So 66, we have this right here. So on 66, this is going to be my practice right here. Okay? Now, for this right here, state the third congruence. So third congruent that must be given to prove that these triangles are congruent with the indicated postulate. Class, did I lose you guys there? Okay, so for it to be angle, side, angle. Okay, if you paid attention on the last one, angle, side, angle. There's something specific about this. Where does the side have to be?
In between.
In between what?
Both angles.
Both angles. So now, for this triangle right here, where would my congruent piece be?
In between A and B.
A and B, right? So it would be line segment AB. So I would put a tick mark right here. And so for this one, I would state that AB congruent to DE. You guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be DE. So now if I'm looking, it's now going to be angle, side, angle. And this one over here is also angle, side, angle. I'll let you guys do that one on your own. Now let's take a look at the next one down here. Let's look down a little bit further. Now this is one of the things that, okay, you have to identify certain things that you have here. Okay, we're identifying certain things. So one thing we have here, we had this back in Unit 1. If I look at the shape, class, please pay attention real quick. If I look at the shape, what shape does that make?
A triangle.
Okay, I have triangle, but there's something else there. Okay, yes, but this is a shape thing that we had in Unit 1. What? A work?
A square.
Not a square. I'm looking for this one right here. How about this? Here. I will emphasize this. What shape is this right here?
Hourglass.
Oh.
Right now.
Is that an X?
Yeah.
What special thing that we have when we have an X on our thing? Huh?
The intersection or
The intersection, the angles, what do we have?
no, it's congruent, right?
What is congruent? What's it called?
Sometimes
Also wait. If a shape makes an X, what do we get out of it? Yes, you just did it with your arms. Go ahead.
so then you could get
Back in Unit 1, if it makes an X, what do we have from it?
Vertical.
There we go. I heard it. Vertical angles. You guys remember vertical angles, right? So, vertical angles. So we would have vertical angles on this. So let's take a look. So I'm even going to label it right here. So we have vertical angles. So I have vertical angles here. Vertical angles make the X. So I have right here. So, because of vertical angles, what am I going to have here? I'm going to have congruent angles, but what are my congruent angles? R, V, S. So I'm going to have this side, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm trying to prove these two triangles congruent, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be angle R, V, S is going to be congruent to angle.
UVT.
Okay, so it's going to be U, V, T. So those are congruent. Oh, I'm sorry. These are supposed to be double arcs. Because this is my single arc already. Okay, so now that I have it, I looked at it, I saw I had vertical angles, so now I can go through and actually answer the question for this. Decide whether enough information is given to provide that the triangles are congruent. State the congruent postulate or theorem and write the congruent statement. So we have vertical angles here, right?
Yes.
So once I have vertical angles, okay, I could say what? What postulate would I use?
Angle side angle.
Angle, side, angle. Does that look right? Angle, side, angle. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I would state that I'm going to have triangle RVS, right? RVS is going to be congruent to triangle UVT. Remember, it has to be in a specific order when we were talking about this yesterday. Because R has to go with U, right?
Yes.
And S has to be congruent to T, right?
Yes.
So it has to go R is congruent to U, S is congruent to T. Yes? So my labeling here has to be correct. And my reason here is
Angle
angle,
side angle.
side, angle. Now, does that make sense? Yes. All right, so I'm going to help you out with the next one here, number 5. So let's first identify the two triangles. Okay, it's a right triangle here, right? So it's going to be a right triangle here. So I would say that I have triangle A, C, B, and triangle. What would I name the next one?
DBC.
It's got to be D because D goes with A, right? So D, C, B. I don't know if they're congruent yet. Now, here's another identifying factor. So now, do they both share the same side?
Yes.
You guys recall, if they share the same side, what would I call that? Reflexive. Very good. So that would be a reflexive. So that one right there is going to be reflexive. Okay? So I would say that I have BC is congruent to BC, BC. If it's reflexive, you have the same thing. So BC. So I have reflexive right there.
Is it a reflection or
Reflexive. This one is reflexive property. That one right here is reflexive. I'll even write it out for you. So I have reflexive property. So now that I have this much information right here, do I have enough information to say that these two triangles are congruent?
Yes.
How?
His name is A.
because
Say it.
ASS.
What does a S stand for?
Side.
Side. A stands for
Angle.
angle. So you said
It's angle, side.
angle, angle, side, right? This one's angle, angle, side. Because the right angles are congruent on these, right? This would be an angle, angle, side. If it was the hypotenuse leg, is that what you're talking about there? Yeah. So I would have the hypotenuse. So now for this one right here, the hypotenuse would be which side? It would be AB. Hypotenuse would be AB over here, right? So it can't be the hypotenuse leg one. So this one right here is going to be an angle, angle, side. So angle, angle, side. So according to my little handy dandy book, is angle, angle, side congruent? Yes, they are. So angle, angle, side is congruent. So we would say that these are congruent, and I would say angle, angle, side. Okay? So I've given you enough information to get started with this. There's some more information on the back. You're going to have to mark in the information that's given to you first to be able to do this. Okay? So I'll let you guys use the rest of the time to work on this. I'm going to come around and help you guys, whoever needs help.